Welcome back to Dubsy Bricks, and it's another episode of building the Batcave in Lego, and we're now concentrating on Wayne Manor. As you can see, we've got the Sanctum Sanctorum, and I've just placed this on top of the Batcave just to give you an idea of size and what we're working with here. Now, you could probably fit possibly 10 Sanctum Sanctorums on the top of this area. Now I want to have some impressive grounds on here, so whether that be like a swimming pool, lots of trees, gardens. I also want to put the well on there that he falls down in Batman Begins, and also his parents' graves and things like that, and also a carport. So we need to fit a lot in, so that space will get swallowed up very quickly. And as you see, the Sanctum Sanctorum does look quite impressive in size if you were having all those grounds around there. Now here is a template of the manor that I intend on building. So if we stick it in the corner, and it will be going right over there in the corner, it's going to take up a nice size there. And size wise for this template that we've got here, if I compare it to the Sanctum, as you can see, it's quite a bit bigger. This wing alone is the same width or just shy of it, and so is this one here, let alone the bit in the corner. So we're going to be using a few of the techniques that we've discovered on, or we've learned off of this modular, and we're going to try and implement them onto that one there. It's going to be very similar in the sense that you can remove each floor on there, which is the idea, and the whole thing is going to be just resting onto the top of the Batcave. So what I'll do, I'll put a row of tiles all the way along which outline this. This will then sit on it, but there'll be bricks on this which will stop this from moving, so it'll be fixed in place going from side to side and forwards and back. The only way you'll be able to move it is lifting it up. That way I can build on that and not worry about putting pressure on this on the roof of the Batcave whilst I'm building it. So yeah, what we need to do now is just carry on with this. This is the first modular building we've ever designed. This is the first modular building we've ever made, the only modular building we've ever made. So it's going to be quite a learning curve. I'm not sure how much detail I'm going to put inside this. I would like to put some in there, but it's not going to be sort of like, I don't want to use up too much time on there or too many bricks on there, because obviously got all of the stuff around here. But because this is modular and I'm going to be able to remove it from the top of the Batcave, I will be able to sort of like amend this at a later stage. And obviously with our custom Lego city that we're going to be building after this, I can also obviously take the Wayne Manor off if I decide to do so and just put it in the city somewhere. And that's the base of Wayne Manor. We've started off with 2 layers of bricks, and we put the snot bricks along the bottom, as you can see just there. And what we're able to do is put a 2 wide tile all the way across here and around the fronts, and we're going to do that in a dark blue grey. Next up is to put some masonry bricks all the way around the edge sort of thing, and on the side we're going to use snot bricks and put tiles on those as well to get a little bit of texture. Just need to work out exactly how the windows are going to go and things like that, and also the door here, how I'm going to build that part. But the prototyping continues, and man, is it the amount of decisions I have to make is never ending. So here is one option, here is another option, and it's things like at the bottom here, do I put tiles or arches and things like that. Now there is likely to be a flower bed in front of this, so you're not going to see as much of that, but I do think this gives it a little bit more character. And then we've got like a grey line across there, no grey line, and do I put like a curved tile on here or a flat one? Do I go for the light blue grey, or do I go for a dark blue grey, for example? And it's all these sort of like decisions that I've got to make on here eventually. Things like the tiles here and here, that's not too much. I don't need to decide that instantly because they are going to be clipped on, so there's not a problem there. And the same with the border here, that can change as well, because again, it's not on top of anything. But things like the arches, I do need to decide that quite early on. Now I've only got about 3 or 4 of these, and I would need about 20 to do this whole sort of like base. But again, because of the way I'm building it, I'm going to be putting it onto the mock after I finish building it. I can add those afterwards. So I am thinking I'm going to go for the arch route. So what I need to do is peel these bricks off that I've done around the bottom here and push the bricks back by 1 level and put the masonry bricks all the way around. so we can get that done, and then I can start doing the design that I've done here all the way around the top on there. In regards to the interior, I wasn't 100% sure what to do in regards to that. As much as it would be, as nice as it would have been to have had a full interior in here, it's never going to get looked inside, and once we've made the mock, as mentioned before, we'll be tearing the mock down and starting our custom Lego city. So it's not something that you're going to be sort of like people, if they come around and see it, they're not going to see it basically. So it is one of those things I'm thinking there's not much point to have an interior on there. And here is the foundation for the Wayne Manor. As you can see, I've built cross beams all the way across, and it's 3 bricks in height, and that's where it will sit at the back of the cave. So if we step back, as you see, it's taken up probably about 1/6 of the area, I suppose, and we'll have the stairs coming up like so. So it's going to look, hopefully look quite impressive once it's all done. And the walls are going up quite nicely. We've got the windows in on the majority of the downstairs, just got to do those 2 there. Need to build the wall all the way around the back and put some support and walls inside the building as well. So we might do a layout as how the rooms would be, should we decide to furnish it. And here is the Wayne Manor, the first floor on top of the Batcave. And as you can see, it's taken up a nice sized portion of there. The steps I've just rested there at the moment. I'm going to need to make that as a section, because obviously it's a 45-degree angle, so it's not going to go in on the studs. So again, that's something else we're going to have to work out how we're going to attach all that to it. And I'm contemplating bringing the whole building up by another brick, possibly 2, just so that I can make the steps look that little bit better as well. And we've done 2 rooms. So we've got in here, this is going to be Bruce Wayne's office or study, whatever you like to call it. And then over here, it's going to be like a lounge or some other, maybe a dining room, who knows. But yeah, that's what we've got done so far. I said probably won't bother doing too many details on the interior, but with these rooms, because they're going to be closest to the edge of the mock, when I'm doing sort of like any cinematography from here, it'd be nice that if you can see through that there is actually something in there. I've just received a text through saying that DPD are making a delivery today, and it's from Lego, and I'm hoping it's the grey plates that are going to be going on the bottom of this. If it is, it means I can take this off, put all the plates on it, and then attach it to the cave, and then that will be permanently in place. We're going to be working on Wayne Manor, doing more work on that, get the downstairs as complete as possible. Do need a door for it. I can put the stairs up to the 2nd level, and then I want to get the 2nd floor done on Wayne Manor. But it'll be really good to get this roof secured on here. I know I have still got work to do under there, however I'm more than happy to work around that. And the plates have arrived, so we can get on with the final part of the roof section underneath, get that all plated off, and then we can get it all attached. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this order. Right, there are a few black wedge plates in here as well, I believe, which are to help with the bat symbol, I think it is, to go on the bridge. So yeah, really pleased this arrived though, so it's going to enable me to crack on with that. The roof of the Batcave has all been plated off. We have got some areas where it's light blue grey, obviously, and that's purely because we didn't have the dark blue grey, and we needed to use these plates up, so didn't really want to waste all the money on getting all dark blue grey. And what I can do is I can just put other grey blue plates over the light blue greys. So yeah, what we need to do now is put it on top of the Batcave. As you can see, put the Technic plates here, here and down there, and that's where the light will come through. I've blocked off all the holes bar one, so there'll only be light coming through one. So the next thing to do is get it put on top of that, pushed all down, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, just got to hope we don't have a cave in now, so let's get to it. And that is the roof all on, and it went really smoothly. Only one slope gave way underneath. Haven't put the lights in yet, obviously, but it's all gone on there nicely. And here is the start of the second floor. So we've made the template all the way round, and this just sits on the tile, so it'll be kept in place by a couple of studs in a typical modular technique. Now what we need to do is take that away from there and start building the walls up in a very similar style to what we've done this bottom floor, and then see how that looks. And here we have the second floor of Wayne Manor, and as you can see, I've taken a hole out of the floor there, and that's purely for the top of the stairs. And I'm thinking about changing the staircase, so rather than have it going up at a 45-degree angle, sort of like that way, it will sort of like zigzag up. But this just pops on like any modular building, and there we have it, our second floor of Wayne Manor. Just thought I would show you another angle of the Wayne Manor. So it's symmetrical on the front, so each side is obviously the same, but the windows are different on the edges there, whereas we've got the two sets of windows there. The top floor is the same, but at the bottom there is a doorway down the bottom. So I've mocked up the first attempt at the roof here, and I've used the 1x2 slopes. So these are these ones just here, and yeah, it's too steep, I think. And what I'll do, I'll just pop it onto the mock so you can see what I mean. So as you can see, the roof section is almost as tall as the two floors there, so it just doesn't look right. So I am going to have to go back to the drawing board on there and see what we can do. One thing I do need to work out is what colour the roof is going to be. There's so much grey obviously already in this mock, we need to work out a colour that's going to look good. So it would have been quite nice to have used the sand green that's on there. Another colour I'm contemplating using is the dark red, which is the red that's on Slave 1. So yes, we just got to work out what we're going to do with that. So next thing to do is take that back off of there, and let's get a Technic structure made and see what we can do with that, and work out if we can get that angle down and how we're going to do a finishing touch on the end there. So this is quite an interesting technical challenge, which we're looking forward to doing. So let's get back to it. With the roof section, it was a case of trial and error. I left the slopes up on one end just so I knew how steep I didn't want it to be, and it gave me an idea of the angles that I wanted to go for. And by using the 16 long Technic bricks, just propping them up against each other, it did look like it was going to be the perfect angle. And all I did then was just continue to make the framework along the entire length of the one side of the building, and then strengthen up using some Technic beams across the centre. And there's still a little bit of movement on there, so I ended up putting a second Technic beam below it, and then trying to connect the two with Technic bricks. And two Technic bricks and one plate was just about the right gap to clip it all together and make it structurally sound. And I also was just trying to make sure that it wasn't going to go anywhere once it was all up there. So yeah, bit of trial and error, but it turned out quite well in the end. Originally I was going to try and connect the roof section to this part here using Technic pins inside. However, you would see the Technic pin on the outside wall here. So I was then contemplating putting a Technic beam in here and then connecting it up to this beam here, connecting the two to keep it all in place. However, again, I couldn't get the holes to line up just right. So, simple way. I've just put some blocks in here, and it's as snug as it can be on both sides there. It's an absolute perfect fit. It's keeping everything central. So all we need to do is do a few of those all the way down this beam, down this part of the roof, and then the same across there, and then they'll all sit in place perfectly. And then all I need to do is work out how I'm going to join the roof section that goes here to this one there. But as you can see, I've started building this beam across here. Put a Technic brick there which is connected to this one, and then that's going to allow me to build the plates on here. So I'm just hoping that there is a wedge plate that is that exact angle, just so I can put it on there and then tile on top of it. So it's going to be quite interesting working out what sort of tiling technique we can do on here where it's all going to go together nice and smoothly. So yeah, but pleased with the progress so far. Just need to plate it all off now as much as we can, and then decide what we're going to do about the tiling effect on the top of it. One other thing I have got to put in here is some chimneys. So what I'll probably do is build those up now and put them onto the base bit here and then build the plates all around it, which will make it a little bit easier. So it's probably better off doing that bit next before plating off, and then at least I know that it is all good. The roof will come up so it meets here, so the plates will just touch at the top. Not sure whether or not I'm going to have any way of connecting them together or not, but I'll cross that bridge when we get there. There might be some hinge piece we can use. And I built a wall up on the end of the roof section. I put a couple of snot bricks on there because what I want to do is put some sort of like design on the wall there. And these are the tile plates that are going to be going on the roof, and then we'll tile on top of them. And I've put this bracket on the bottom here, which I'm also going to tile on top of it, and then that'll sit there, and then that bracket with the tiles on it will cover these stepped bits on the brickwork. If there are any bits that are sort of like still showing, then I'll put a wedge brick in there just to cover it up, to give it that little bit more coverage. And I think I am finally there. This has been a complete nightmare. Every time I've gone to put any pressure on this, it's just given way on the plate side of things. So I've actually doubled the plate up. So where this is one big plate here, there's another one inside in tan, as you can see just in there. And it really has strengthened up considerably. So now, once it's on the building, I can tile away and not have any problems. On here we've got the hole, which is where the chimney is going to be sticking out of, and again this hole is a little bit tight and it is putting pressure on sort of like the angle and things like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tile it all up, put it on there, and then I'm going to build the chimney into the hole afterwards. So yeah, that'll be the easiest way of doing it. Anyway, next thing we need to do is get the second framework there and put that on the side of it and see if we can get them to join up quite tidily. And the roof is on top of the Wayne Manor, and pretty pleased how it's turned out. The wedge plates, they turned out to be the perfect angle for what we were doing here, and can't believe how lucky I got with that. Just got to build the wall up on the end here and get that all done, and then got to decide on what colour this is going to be all tiled off.
I've put some tiles on the end here in two different colours. We've got the dark red and the reddish brown, and they were the two options I was considering for the roof. The other option was the dark tan, but I don't think that would look right either, and to be honest I'm not happy with either of these. So what I'm considering doing is changing quite a few things here. To start with, these edges haven't turned out how I was hoping they were going to. They just don't look right, so I'm going to scrap those, and I'm contemplating doing it so that it's bricks, and it will start off like a dark blue grey brick will be 2 wide there, then 1, then 2, then 1, then 2, all the way down, so give it a nice effect. So I'm going to look at doing that. Windows, I might change those over to to the reddish brown, so that's that colour there, and just see what those sort of changes bring to it, and then we'll go from there. I might then put the dark blue grey on the roof, because obviously it won't be quite as much down here, and what dark blue grey is down there, it's going to look totally different. I did manage to get to the Lego store yesterday, and we got some big brick cups, and I did get quite a few different elements there, plant wise, flower wise, for Wayne Manor around the grounds, but also to do some interesting climbers with a bit of colour in there. So even if there is a lot of grey on the building and the roof, hopefully that will bring it in. Also, if I do go for a grey roof, that's one of the reasons I think about doing brown on the windows, again to give it a break-up of the dark colours. So anyway, what I'm going to do first of all, before I go any further, I'm going to mock up one wall, one section like so, and have a look and see what it looks like. And here is the first mock-up of a different wall technique. So as you can see, I've gone for the bricks along the side there, which means I've done away with the snot bricks. So we're doing away with those tiles. So it does bring it down a little bit, and obviously as you can see, the brown also makes the wall look less dull as well, in my opinion. So yeah, just considering that as an option. The window would be very similar to that, so I would make it so you've got the beams in the middle of the windows. The one thing is, obviously, in order to get this full brick technique to the right hand side or either side of the grey bit down the edge, I would need to reduce the size of the windows in there. And here we have the new design on the walls, and I'm much preferring the look of this here. It's looking a lot tidier, and I think also the windows, without having the brick bits in the middle, again looks a lot tidier as well. Looking at the choice of the two between the reddish brown and the black, I think the reddish brown, it brings the house to life that little bit more, and I think the overall aesthetic is going to look a lot better doing it this way. So I'm going to change out all the black windows on here. It has involved a complete rebuild because I have gone the one stud further back that way
and also on that wall. And that's purely so I've got whole bricks along here. Otherwise I was going to have one stud left there. Obviously the masonry bricks are all 2 studs wide. And there is the first 4 all completed and changed over to the new style, and I think it looks a lot better than the bottom and the original style. As you can see, it is 1 brick wider at the top there, so we need to extend that bottom floor as well. So that's our next job, is to rip the bottom floor apart and build it 1 brick further out. And that's the ground floor done. So a lot happier with the look of the building, with the details on there. I think I was going to be going for too many things sticking onto the brickwork, so this is a much more polished, tidier look. And I think I'm quite happy with the roof as well. Just need to amend it slightly. It's 1 stud too narrow at the back there, but that will just be a case of amending tweaking a couple of little bits on there. The panels themselves should be absolutely fine. And that's the roof section all put on. So all we need to do now is pop this section on here and the other one, and then we can tile it all off and see what it looks like. And that will be able to know whether or not the reddish brown is the right way to go with the windows, or whether we need to change them out for the black. As you can see, I've changed these wedge plates here to the dark bluish grey. That way when I tile up, I don't need to go right to the end, and it won't really show that much because it will be the same colour as the tiles on the roof, so it's going to look like a slate effect. And there's the first section of roof all tiled off, and I have to say I am loving the look of that. I think it's definitely the right decision colour-wise. The only thing I'm still not quite sure of is the windows, so there's a chance they may still get turned back to black. We've still got to do obviously all the finer details just around here, but yeah, really pleased with the look of it so far. So we're just tweaking the roof section. I just noticed that the roof wasn't overhanging the building at all. It was really flush up against the wall. So what I've done, I've removed that section there, and I've added another layer of plate on here. So we'll just pop this back on and then connect the 2 roof sections together. I've already done it on the other one. It's quite simple to remove them because all I've got is 5 of these connecting the 2 roof sections together. So it's quite a quick process to make this amendment to there. So once we've done that, we'll connect it back together and see if that works a little bit better. And the roof is on, and I'm really pleased with how it's looking. Was contemplating doing sort of like 1 row of 1 wide tiles down each of these, so like where the dots are. However, I decided that the quarter circle tiles just looks a little bit better. The changes that we've made over the last day or 2, I think have been really positive changes. I'm much happier with the house now. So yeah, the next episode is going to be a really good one. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be sort of like planning where everything's going on here. I was hoping to do that this episode, however, it just hasn't happened. A lot of the finer details are going to be delayed until I can get the lights in there, because what I don't want to be doing is building like trees up and then knocking them over every time I go to sort something out there. But hopefully I will be able to still build around a lot of the grounds on here. I can certainly get the road into Wayne Manor sorted out. This road here I'm going to do is like a dirt track, so that again I can get that done. But pleasing week, really pleased with how that house has come out, considering it's the first modular building that I've ever created and made. This was the first modular set that I've ever made, and to come up with that as a first attempt, I'm really, really pleased and proud of that. So hope you like it, and yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. Anyway, that's all we've got time for on this update. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps the channel. The more people we can get on board and following us on this journey, the more other people will discover the channel and join us with it. Hit the notification bell so you can get up to date with any future updates of any content that we release, and give us a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed what you've watched, and share it with as many people as possible, families, friends, and anyone else you can think of that might enjoy it. Anyway, thanks for popping on by. See you next time. Bye for now.